Okay,
So
if you
good
begin.
evening. Okay, good evening, everyone. Today, Mr. Joseph, Ms. Ramdas, and myself, Ms. Smith, will be presenting on Chapter 8, Understanding Complex Organizations. Next slide, please. So, in this chapter, we will discuss what is a group, what is an organization, how it differentiates between groups and organizations, the 9 laws of God, organizational leadership, organizational structure, organizational mission, vision, and core, organizational culture, organizational networks, life circle of organizations, virtual impact of technology. Next. So, what what are groups? So, groups consist of 2 or more persons who come together to achieve a specific goal. So here we have an image. We can see it's obviously people playing football, and we see 2 different colors. So we know it's 2 different teams. However, they both have one purpose, and that purpose is winning. Next. So what is an organization? So an organization are large collections of groups of people that interact in a continuous manner within a complex structure to accomplish a specific purpose. So here we have another image. We can see persons sitting around a desk. Um, we could decipher however this we want. Either they planning something, they coming up with a proposal, they coming up with strategies. Board meetings or so on. Next. So we ask. So the text says how to differentiate between groups and organizations, and we can identify this by answering these questions. So who? So who who would be who pertaining to groups as small to medium in size, 2 to more persons. So example, family, church, a church group, a book club. Organizations, however, are a larger unit with 20 plus persons. So what are groups? Are collections of individuals. Organizations, however, consists of groups such as example HR, stores, procurement, frontline staff. So it's it's a combined unit of different sections for the organization to function. So then we have when. Both groups and organizations have continuous interactions, all working towards a purpose. Um, we have where groups are closer in units, members, they are smaller in numbers, so they could have more interactions with each other. Organizations, however, would have different groups. Example, as I just said, like HR, finance, payroll. So they might be spread apart because
As mm-hmm.
it's such a bigger unit. So someone else mic is on. Okay, thank you. Then we have how. So with groups, as similar structure, organizations are complex structures, rules, strategies, process. And we have the why. Why groups and organizations both have one thing in common, a purpose. Next slide, please. So we have types of organizations. So sorry, the next slide. Right. So we have types of organizations. So we could have like financial institution, maybe banks. We have non-profits, example Red Cross. We have education, example school, colleges. We have business. We have agencies. Sorry, we have business such as like Amazon, and we have agencies such as World Health Organization, which focus on health and at an international level. Next, please. Use. So we have why do organizations exist? To fulfill a specific purpose, to satisfy a specific need of a community, society, individual, to make a profit, to meet objectives of stakeholders. Next slide, please. So we have organization structures. So We have organizations are complex in their structure. There are usually many layers and departments, many people involved in leadership and decision making, different rules. Organizations exist to accomplish a specific purpose. So, example, we have COSTAT, we have lecturers, we have students, we have administration, we have chairs, we have board of trustees, we have aluminum, we have all these different bodies come together to accomplish one thing: educating students. So, next. So here we have another example. We have a CEO, we have production line, we have marketing department, we have sales. So this would be in a production level, maybe a factory. So we have designers, we have sales reps. So the sales rep would have to go there and 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 try to bring in business for the company. Designers have to do their work and design and and help bring in money again. We have the CEO, who is the top man. Next. Okay, so organized structures. Policies. Policies policies set a set of rules that govern the behavior of an organization. We have codes of conduct, a set of rules and policies that outline the expected behavior and practice of an employee and employer in any organization. We have disciplinary committee, a body responsible for examining alleged breaches of discipline within an organization. We have standard operating procedures. SOPs are set of step-by-step instructions complied by any organization to help workers carry out routine operations, and SOPs aim to achieve efficiency. So we have budget. Budgets are there to ensure that organizations has enough resources to meet its goal. It also helps with the financial roadmap that guides decision making and resource allocation. We have the legal department, provide legal advice and support. In other words, they play a crucial role in organizations. They provide essential services that contribute to the overall success and risk management of the business. And that's it there for me. Thank you very much for listening, everyone.
Organizations as a complex system. Firstly, we'll be looking at what is a system. A system is defined as an environment in which each interaction between members produces outcomes that affect each individual and subsequent interactions and outcomes. Organizations are also systems, so with more people and groups in the organization, interaction becomes more frequent and life within the organization becomes more complicated because everything affects everything else. Next slide. The 9 laws of God, organizations as systems. In Out of Control in 1994, Kevin Kelly introduced the 9 laws of God, which he described as the organizing principle in systems as diverse as biological, evolution, and simplicity. These 9 laws are distribute being, essence of the organization exists in all of its connected members, control from the bottom up, empowers members at all levels of the organization. Cultivate increasing returns focuses on what your organization does well and do it even better. Grow by chunking. Organizations grow not one piece at a time, but in bunches. Maximize the fringes. Honor your creative members and their ideas, even if they're really out there. Honor your errors. It is only through trial and error that learning happens. Pursue no optima. Have multiple goals. There is no one right answer to complex problems. There are only many partial solutions. Seek persistent disequilibrium. This equilibrium brings energy into the organization. Change changes itself. Change leads to more change, which changes the initial change. So these qualities relate closely to the new paradigm material, and they also apply directly and indirectly to the organizational life. And it is believed that these qualities really describe life both in and out of the organizations, and it will become even more visible to us in the coming century. Next. Organizational leadership. Since organizations are widely considered to be structures in which a set of groups can engage with each other over time, Leadership in an organization exists to help these groups work together to accomplish a specific purpose. This purpose may shift over time, but leadership must always honor its inherited commitment to keep the organization on track to pursue its mission. So by maintaining this focus on the mission, leadership will help the organization to be sustainable to exist over the long term. This is a crucial function of leadership, and we believe that the relational leadership model provides a usable framework from which leaders can work to accomplish an organization's purpose. So leaders and members can work together successfully to accomplish significant change by being inclusive, empowering, ethical, and process-oriented. So while helping all of the organization's members be purposeful and work towards a positive purpose. Organizational structures. In 1924, Max Weber created the classical bureaucratic model for organizations, featuring a hierarchy structure division of labor, and clearly articulated rules and regulations to govern how the organization should operate. This structure was designed to promote order and accountability within the organization. Firstly, we'll be looking at the traditional organizational structure. In this model, the power, authority, responsibility, go back please. In this model, the power, authority, and responsibility for leading the organization is at the top, which is the president, and is followed by officers and committee chairs who are responsible for planning meetings and preparing reports, which summarizes committee activities, and they then present them to other members. At the bottom of the pyramid are participants who engage in specific activities, events, or programs within the organization. Then there's members who formally belong to the organization and participate in decision making, and they also execute tasks related to their roles. One new way of conceptualizing organizations proposed that the traditional pyramid be flipped upside down so that the members are at the top and the president is at the bottom. And this reconceptualization means that the work of the president is to support the efforts of other officers and committee chairs so that they can better meet the needs and wishes of members. Next. Another organizational structure is the web structure, which is defined both by its pattern, which is similar to a spider web, and by the idea that the shape and pattern of the web will vary over time, is called series processes. New members easily connect to the structure at its outer edges where the web is looser and more permeable. The structure works well in an environment filled with change as the pattern is continually being built up, stretched, altered, modified, and transformed. The common purpose is at the center of the web because the purpose of the organization is more important than its leadership and is the reason people become participants. Next. There are 6 important processes that define these webs more clearly than the pattern defines them. Firstly, we have communication. Communication is open and happens across and among all levels of the organization. Thinking of what to do and actually doing it are not separated because information and expertise are distributed all over the web. Distribution. The strands of the web distribute the power throughout the network, so those who come up with creative ideas feel they have both the responsibility and the authority to follow through on implementations. Reorganization. This is easy because the web can tighten around its center or become looser, and there is less emphasis on who is in what position and who holds how much power. Connection. The strands radiating out from the leader provides points of connection to the outside environment and allows new members to latch onto the organization. Reinvention. The web organization constantly reinvents itself through a process of trial and error. Next. Another form of organizational structure is the non-hierarchical structure. In this organization, power and authority are shared throughout the membership. This organizational structure is flat with no levels, and decisions are often made by consensus, and leadership roles are shared by all. Organizations may choose this type of organizational structure because employees would be able to have more decision-making power, and they can take ownership of their own work and contribute directly to organizational goals. Also, since there are no levels, since there are no levels, communication channels are shorter and more direct. But keep in mind that the organization is a membership. It is the people who have come together for a certain purpose. So whichever organizational structure an organization may choose to use, it is important to remember that the structure is not the organization. The structure was created to help the membership achieve the purpose for which the organization was developed. Organizations also exist to connect people to each other. So when the structure ceases to do either of these things, it must be changed. Next. Organizational missions, vision, and core values. Organizations exist for a specific purpose, to represent the views of the membership, to produce some product, to provide activities for its members, and for many countless other reasons. These are the reasons people join and participate in organizations, and a critical aspect of the success or failure of any organization will be how its purpose or mission comes to life in its vision and actions. The importance of a mission, vision, and core value of an organization cannot be overestimated. An example of organizations' mission statements are the mission of Southwest Airlines in dedication to the highest quality of customer service delivered with a sense of warmth, friendliness, individual pride, and company spirit. According to Jones and Kana, an organization's mission statements should answer the question, why does the organization exist? The mission statement must be clear, concise language, and include input gathered from throughout the organization so that it reflects the personality of the organization. Once written, the statement should be shared widely in as many forms as possible so that it can be used to truly guide the actions of the organization. And in addition, the mission statement should also offer a compelling reason for the organization to exist. The contribution the organization makes to a campus, community, or the world needs to be articulated in a way that it is enticing to the potential participants and motivational to those who have already joined the organization. The mission of your organization could be social, service related, political, or any combination, but the effectiveness of your organization will be determined by how well it moves towards the mission. Next. There are many different definitions to describe the vision of an organization. Houses and Posner in 1995 called a vision an ideal or unique image of the future. Albert in 1994 states that it is an image of what the people of the enterprise aspire for it to be or become. The vision of an organization must motivate and inspire, be a stretch, be clear, and be concrete, achievable, reflect high values, and be simple. The vision that the organization embraces challenges both the leader and the membership to do their very best. The vision must tap in to the motivational system of the people in your organization, which is why it is so important for the mission and vision statement to be clearly stated and inspiring. Next. Core values. Without core values, any behavior would be justifiable as long as it moves the organization towards its mission or vision. Collins and Horace in 1994 described core values as the organization's essential and enduring tenets, a small set of general guiding principles, not to be confused with specific culture or operating practices, not to be compromised for financial gain or short-term expediency. These core values are small in number, usually like 3 to 6 values, and so fundamental and deeply held that they will change or be compromised seldom, if ever. Core values answer the question, how do we as an organization members agree to treat ourselves and others as we pursue our mission and value? Although core values are important to the success of any organization, they are seldom discussed or shared among the membership. Next. Organizational culture. Many people believe that organizations are so powerful and influential that they take on a culture of their own. Edgar Stein, in his classic work, Organizational Culture and Leadership, 2004, defines this form of organizational culture as a pattern of shared basic assumption that was learned by a group as it solved its problems of external adaptation and internal integration. Integration. That has worked well enough to be considered valid and therefore to be taught to new members as the correct way to perceive, think, and feel in relation to those problems. James Cass in 1986 defines culture in a slightly different manner. Culture is an infinite game. Culture has no boundaries. And for this reason, it can be said that where society is defined by its boundaries, a culture is defined by its horizon. Next. In 2004, it was proposed that culture has three different levels: the artifacts, the exposed belief and values, and underlying assumptions. The artifacts, this is the most viable level. It is the structures and processes of the organization. The exposed beliefs and values, these are the strategies, goals, and philosophies that the organization claims it embraces. Underlying assumption, this is the deepest level. These are the beliefs, perceptions, thoughts, and feelings that are assumed to be true by members of the organization. These underlying assumptions drive the values and actions of the organization. And he asserts that the most important job the leader has is to manage the culture. Next. Terence Steele and Alan Kennedy offer a different framework from which they examine organizational structure. They stress the importance of the organization's values, heroes, rights, and rituals, and communication network. Values form the core of the organization because they guide members' behaviors and serves as a compass for decision making. It is essential for maintaining consistency and alignment within the organization. Heroes are ordinary individuals who exhibit heroic actions, play a crucial role because they serve as role models, symbolize the organizations to outsiders, and motivate other members. They contribute to the organization's success. Rites and rituals are both formal and informal guidelines that shape everyday occurrences within the organization. They dictate how members should communicate, socialize, work, and play. They also influence how meetings are conducted. Communication. Communication network. Sorry. Communication network. Deal and Kennedy emphasizes that the entire process depends on people, not just people. The organization's communication network involves how information is gathered and disseminated. Within this network, various characters play distinct roles. Next. Bowman and Deal, 2003, proposed four distinct frames for understanding organizations. Firstly, we have the structural frame. This frame centers on formal processes such as organizational charts, roles, and job descriptions. It emphasizes the structural aspects of an organization. An example of this could be organizations creating clear hierarchical structures with defined reporting lines and clearly defined in job roles and responsibilities. Human resource frame. Here, the focus shifts to the people within the organization, their emotions, motivation, and well-being. It recognizes the human elements as crucial. So organizations can provide training and growth opportunities for employees, for employee development. Political frame, operating from a perspective of resource scarcity. This frame acknowledges that organizations are often in conflict with each other. Strategies like forming collections are used to gain advantages. Symbolic frame. This frame delves into the ceremonies, stories, and heroes that define an organization. It reveals or reflects the organization's values and identity. By paying attention to how these frames operate within your organization, you can gain insight into why certain parts thrive while others struggle. Next. Hofstede in 2003 adds to our understanding of organizations and culture through his studies of society around the world. He proposes that people differ in 5 broad dimensions. Power Distance Index, PDI. This dimension reflects the extent to which a society supports inequality and equality. In high PDI societies, hierarchical structures are accepted and authority figures hold significant power. In contrast, low PDI societies emphasizes equality and minimize power differentials. Individualism and collectivism. Individualism emphasizes personal autonomy, self-reliance, and individual achievement. Collectivism, on the other hand, prioritizes group cohesion, interdependence, and shared goals. Masculinity and femininity. Masculinity cultures values assertiveness, competition, and achievement. Feminine culture emphasizes nurturing, cooperation, and quality of life. Uncertainty Avoidance Index, UAI, measures the degree to which ambiguity and uncertainty are tolerated. High UAI societies seek structure, rules, and predictability. Low UAI societies are more comfortable with ambiguity and change. Long-term orientation LTO assesses the preference for a long-term perspective over short-term gains. Cultures with high LTO value perseverance, thrift, and planning for the future. Next. The Globe. The Globe is the Global Leadership and Organizational Effectiveness Project, also examines cultural dimensions across countries. Some of these dimensions include performance orientation, which emphasizes on performance and achievements. Humane orientation is the importance placed on fairness and caring. Assertiveness is the degree of confrontation and aggression in relationships. Gender inequality is the minimization of gender inequality. Next. An organizational structure can also negatively affect life within an organization. As Stacy 1992 notes, strongly shared cultures inevitably block new learning and cut down on the variety of perspective brought to bear on an issue. In other words, the more entrenched our norms, the more resistant we become to change. While developing a culture aligned with the organization's mission and values is crucial, it is essential to recognize how culture may inhibit progress. Attempting to change mission and values without addressing culture can meet resistance. For instance, consider eliminating hazing during an organization's initiation process. Hazing is harmful against the law and it provides little benefit but many organizations strongly embrace hazing as a rite of passage. Changing the mission and values of the organization to embrace non-hazing principle is often relatively easy. So changing the culture of an organization so that individuals in it do not haze is often more difficult. So planning a rewarding subject activity to celebrate the tradition of a new member to full membership can enrich the culture. Organizational networks. Networks are important because they provide the chance to bring together a wide range of individuals. It plays a crucial role in organizational dynamics, transcending the rigid boundaries of formal organizational charts. Networks facilitate collaboration by linking disparate groups based on shared purpose and connections extend beyond organizational borders, including both internal participants and external contributors. The essence lies in working together towards common goal. Networks often offer a platform to bring together a wide spectrum of individuals. Consider scenarios like planning an institution centenary celebration or addressing ongoing concerns like student retention. Student, ethnic, or cultural groups also leverage network for diversity programs and advocacy initiatives. Next. Some key aspects of network formation is purpose agreement. Clarifying the network's purpose is essential. Link creation, maximizing links among network members fosters effective collaboration. Leadership multiplicity, and ensuring multiple leaders within the network enhances its resilience and effectiveness. Formal reorganizations often overlook the invisible networks that crisscross functions, hierarchies, and business units. These networks define how work truly gets done in today's collaborative, knowledge-intensive companies. Understanding these networks is crucial for successful organizational changes. Sophisticated approaches can map networks, identify key connectivity points, and assesses value creation and destruction. Leveraging influential employees within a network can make organizational change more effective. Next. Life cycles of organization. Generativity is feeling an obligation to sustain the organizations into the future. It involves investing in the growth and development of others, ensuring a legacy beyond one's own attention. The concept of generativity is indeed crucial for the long-term success of resilience of an organization, while the emerging paradigm suggests that organization cannot be fully controlled. Their ability to adapt to change remains pivotal. Here are some key points related to generativity and organizational adaptability. Adaptation to change. Organizations operate in dynamic environments where conditions, membership, and leadership constantly evolve. The ability to adapt ensures an organization's renewal and vibrancy. Skilled and determined individuals within an organization can drive positive change through focused actions. New organizations often emerge from the passion and excitement of a small group of individuals, and their energy and dedication can lead to powerful outcomes. However, sustaining this successful requires thoughtful planning for the future. Critical leadership responsibility. Leaders play a pivotal role in ensuring an organization's continuity. They must identify, recruit, prepare, and mentor. Identify means that they must recognize potential future leaders. Recruit means that they must bring in new members who align with the organization's purpose. Prepare means that they develop skills and competencies in individuals. Mentor means that they guide and support future leaders. Next. Ghana in 1990 and Ishak Adizes 1988 present the concept of lives of organization. Gardner distinguishes between two key phases in an organization's life. These two phases are infancy and maturity. Infancy means that organizations in the early stage exhibit flexibility, motivation, and a willingness to experiment. Maturity means that as organizations evolve, they become more orderly, develop a sense of direction, and prioritize stability. Gardner acknowledged that each stage something is gained, but something is also lost. So, for example, in the infancy stage, flexibility and motivation is gained. Then, as an organization grows, it becomes less chaotic, but may sacrifice some of the initial flexibility. In the maturity stage, stability and satisfaction of steady progress may be gained, but the intense drive of youth diminishes, as well as the adaptability decreases as process become more structured. Adhesives provides a more detailed framework describing various stages an organization goes through. Firstly, we have courtship. Courtship is the initial stage where excitement and energy drive the organization. Infancy. Organizations are flexible, motivated, and responsive to challenges. Go-go. A growth-oriented phase characterized by rapid expansion. Adolescent. Challenges arises as the organization matures. Prime is the peak of effectiveness and productivity. Stable, a period of consistency and steady progress. Aristocracy, bureaucracy, and hierarchy become prominent. Early bureaucracy, efficiency and stability are emphasized, and bureaucracy is the rigidity sets in and adaptability decreases. Death is the decline phase. Adidas emphasizes that each stage has its unique dynamic and trade-off. Next. Multicultural Organizational Development, MCOD. Organizational transformation is indeed a dynamic process that allows an organization to adapt, evolve, and thrive. The concept of multicultural organization development, MCOD, provides a valuable lens through which to approach this transformation. MCOD provides inclusivity, empowerment, purposefulness, ethical behavior, and process orientation. Next. The impact of ending social oppression. Imagine if every organization on your campus made a commitment to end all forms of social oppression. It will create an improved workplace climate, enhance productivity, equitable, equitable opportunities, positive repetition, and student experience. Next. They are valuable models for multicultural organizational development, MCOD. These models illustrate the transformation of an organization from monoculture and exclusionary perspective to more inclusive and non-discriminatory ones. Ultimately, cultivating a multicultural outlook, the key assumptions underlying these perspectives are monocultural perspective. Monocultural change agents perceive society as fundamentally harmonious and functioning adequately. They maintain the status quo and resist radical change. For example, you might encounter this perspective in the organization where tradition and stability are high value. Non-discriminatory perspective. Change agents with this perspective recognize existing conflicts and inequalities, but believe that gradual adjustments can address them. They advocate for incremental change and compliance with anti-discrimination laws. So, for instance, organizations aiming to improve diversity and reduce discrimination may align with this view. Multicultural perspective. Multicultural change agents perceive society as rife with conflict and in need of transformative change. They actively challenge oppressive structures and advocate for a radical shift. For example, organizations committed to social justice, equity, and dismantling systematic oppressions embrace this perspective. As a leader, understanding and respecting diverse viewpoints is essential. Engaging with colleagues who hold differing beliefs fosters growth and contributes to creating a better organizational and campus environment for all. Next. Peter, in 1990, a prominent thinker introduced the concept of the learning organization, a paradigm that enables organizations to strive in a constantly changing world. In the learning organization, key principles are continuous learning. Learning organizations foster a culture of continuous learning at all levels. They recognize that adoption and growth are essential for survival. Adaptability. These organizations have the capacity to grow, change, and develop in response to environmental challenges. They remain agile and responsive. Systems thinking. Sage's framework emphasizes system thinking. It views the organization as an interconnected whole, where each part affects the other. The modules within this framework reinforces this holistic perspective. Sage's models of learning organizations are next. Personal mastery. This means that individuals within the organization strive for personal excellence to develop their skills, knowledge, and self-awareness. It contributes to collective growth. Some key aspects of personal mastery are self-understanding, cultivating a deep understanding of oneself, interpersonal skills, honoring communication, collaboration, and relationship building abilities. Growth mindset, fostering a mindset that embraces learning and adaptability. Pursuit of excellence, relentlessly striving for improvement. Individuals committed to personal mastery contribute to a collective culture of continuous learning and development within the organization. Next. Mental models are cognitive frameworks through which individuals perceive and interpret the world. When we hear words like leader, conflict, diversity, or meeting, our mental models shape our understanding and expectation. Mental models are often unconscious and implicit. They influence our behavior, decision making, and interaction within an organization. Mental models can be resistant to change because they are deeply ingrained, and disagreements may arise when different mental models clash. Bringing these models to the surface allows for examination and potential transformation. Consider the mental model associated with the concept of an advisor. If an organization assumes that an advisor ensures details don't fall through the cracks during an event planning, but this turns out to be not true, it can lead to problems. Next. Shared vision. Shared vision refers to a clear and common picture of a desired future state that all members of an organization identify with. It goes beyond a mere mission statement. It is a vision that has been internalized by everyone in the organization. When shared, it becomes universally agreed upon position that organizations will take. Shared vision is important because it creates alignment. A shared vision ensures that all team members are working towards a common goal. It unites efforts and prevents fragmentation. Motivation and commitment. When individuals understand the mission and cause, they are more likely to be motivated and committed to their work. Empowerment is essential, but without a shared sense of direction, empowerment can lead to disparate efforts. Guiding the organization, a shared vision acts as a guiding force to decision making, strategy, and day to day action. Next. Team learning is a fundamental concept within learning organization, as highlighted by Peterson in 1990 and other researchers. It complements individuals by emphasizing learning at the team, organizational, and societal levels. For true learning to occur, team must go beyond individual expertise and engage in collective learning. Team learning is important because teams are building blocks of an organization, especially in today's rapidly changing internal and external environments. An effective team will contribute to organizational success. Anything a team learns or achieves can be transferred to other units and eventually benefit the entire organization. Team learning involves interaction and joint sense making among team members. Through dialogue and shared experience, teams explore and exploit new knowledge. It aligns with Sage's definition of personal mastery. which requires continuous assessment of mental models, a common vision, and system thinking. Leadership is non-static and results. It's a continuous process. Just as team members learn from each other, leaders must engage in ongoing dialogue with organizational members. Effective leadership involves fostering a learning culture and facilitating team learning. The final concept we'll be speaking about now is about for organizations as a complex system is the system approach. The concept of system approach is integral to the thinking within a learning organization. When individuals think systematically, they recognize that both positive and negative outcomes are a collective responsibility. Instead of blaming external factors, members of a learning organization reflect on their own contributions to problems rather than pointing fingers at each other. Individuals hold up a mirror and ask how they have contributed to challenges. This mindset encourages self-accountability and focus on solutions. Peter in 1990 refers to the tendency to blame external factors as a learning disability. In reality, all aspects of the system, such as personal mastery, mental models, shared vision, team learning, and systems thinking interact to shape the organization's reality. That's all for my part.
All right, good evening, everyone. And I will be dealing with virtuality and the impact of technology. So Mark Zuckerberg defined it as virtual reality is really a new communication platform. By feeling truly present, you can share unbounded space and experiences with the people in your life. Imagine sharing not just moments with your friends online, but entire experiences and adventures. So firstly, we look at what is the definition of a virtual reality. Charles Handy defined virtual reality as organizations that do not need to have all the people or sometimes any of the people in one place in order to deliver their services. These are organizations that exist that but you cannot see, and it's a network and not an office. Some others define virtuality as a thought, should be a thought as a continuum. And when they say a continuum, they basically mean that it's a full spectrum of technological possibilities between the entirely physical world or the real environment and the fully digital world or virtual environment. Virtuality encompasses virtual teams, virtual collaborations, collaboration tools, meetings, and workspaces, some of which we are all experiencing for those who are in the workforce. And with the rise of digital technologies, organizations are increasingly embracing the virtuality to enhance flexibility, efficiency, and global reach. Flexibility in the sense that you don't have to get up and spend 2 hours in traffic to go to work, and then come back and spend the next 2 hours in traffic to reach back home. So you have the flexibility of working from home, which makes it easier. You have more family time. You also become more efficient when you work from home as well. That's in my case. I don't know about anybody else. Anybody else becomes more efficient when they work from home? Anybody?
I think that would depend on the job that they acquire, if they have the technology to do so as well.
Agreed. Agreed. And next, we look at the evolution of technology. For those of you who are young, and for those of us who are not so young, we had the invention of the floppy disk, which is the first thing on the screen there, and then we went to CD, then we went to USB, and now we use cloud, right? So we use like Google Drive, OneDrive, iCloud, all these things. And we say that over the past few decades, technology has undergone rapid revolution, revolutionizing the way organizations operate. So now you have, I don't know how many of you looked at Suits, where they have their data storage, their room, the computer room, which basically runs the entire organization. And if it goes down, well, then the entire company goes down. From the advent of computers and the internet to the rise of artificial intelligence and virtual reality, technology has become an integral part of organizational processes. If we look at the impact of technology on organizations, we see that it has a profound impact on organizations across various dimensions in terms of communication, collaboration, operations, and globalization. So in terms of communication, you have instantaneous communication through email, messaging apps, and video conferencing. Long ago, we had Skype before the implementation of Teams and Zoom and Google Meet. We had Skype, so that would have been for video conferencing as well. We have virtual collaboration tools such as Slack, Microsoft Teams, and Google Workspace. So you're able to share documents that you're working on, which enhances the efficiency of the organization as well. Operation, you have automation and digitization of processes, enhance efficiency and reduce manual errors. Globalization. Technology facilitates global reach, allowing organizations to operate across borders with ease. This was the video I was showing the class, but apparently it's not working. It's the positive and negative effects of technology on an organization. So I will share the link in the group chat after class. Right. So then we look at virtual teams. Virtual teams consist of members who are geographically dispersed but work together towards a common goal using technology. This basically means that you could be anywhere in the world and you work with a company. There's one person that I've met. She works at Google, and she's actually the only Trinidadian who works at Google. And she works from home, and Google's office is in the US. So that just shows how we can work together using technology. According to a study by globalworkplaceanalytics.com, the number of people who work remotely has increased by 173% since 2005. Virtual teams offer benefits such as access to a diverse talent pool, reduce overhead costs, and increased flexibility for employees. So if you look at the reduced overhead costs, it actually works out in this way. So instead of paying $100,000 for rent for the company, you work from home, the company saves that, and they could invest that in other ways, or they can give you a bonus as well if we look at it from that aspect. Challenges of virtual teams. The communication barrier, which is a communication barrier is trust issues and coordination difficulties. So in terms of the communication barrier, we have the differences in time zones, languages, and cultural norms can hinder effective communication. So the differences in time zone is actually one of the biggest challenges we have in terms of virtuality and implementing virtual meetings, because we have to consider obviously the time to set up the meeting as well. Trust issues. Building trust among team members who may never meet in person can be challenging. It has been a challenging thing. I could speak from experience, because working with someone and not meeting them in person, it's difficult to assess the character of the person as well. Coordination difficulties. Coordinating tasks and managing workflows across different time zones and locations requires careful planning. We look at virtual collaboration tools. Virtual collaboration tools play a crucial role in enabling seamless communication and collaboration among remote teams. According to a survey by Gartner, 74% of organizations plan to permanently shift to more remote work post-pandemic. Popular collaboration tools include Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Slack, Trello, and Asana. Just going back to the survey which was done, where they say that organizations plan to permanently shift to more remote work post-pandemic. This is actually seen in the court systems today as well, where you have most of the matters being heard virtually as opposed to in person. So it makes it easier. You don't have to get up and rush to court and sit down in traffic, where you could just roll off your bed at 8:50, like some people do, and get ready for 9. The impact of virtual collaboration tools. It's increased productivity, enhanced flexibility, and cost savings. All of this is which we would have dealt with prior. Virtual meetings. Virtual meetings have become increasingly prevalent, replacing traditional face-to-face meetings in many organizations. According to a report by Cisco, the number of virtual meetings has more than doubled since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. Virtual meetings offer advantages such as convenience, accessibility, and reduced environmental impact. Challenges of virtual meetings: technical issues, engagement, and fatigue. So in terms of technical issues, poor internet connectivity, audio and video quality, which we experienced earlier, and software glitches can disrupt the meetings. Engagement. Keeping participants engaged and attentive during virtual meetings can be challenging, especially in longer sessions. Fatigue. Zoom fatigue has become a common phenomenon, with prolonged screen time leading to mental and physical exhaustion. In terms of this, this is actually a true thing because I would have experienced it. I just speaking from personal experience. I don't know if anybody else had experienced it, having to work behind the laptop or computer for long periods of time, I'd say 8 to 10 hours, and then you have class for 3 hours after. It kind of makes it difficult because it's all virtual. With this in mind, we also need to, one thing that we could do is build, have more team building exercise and bring coolers. So we say that virtuality and the impact of technology play a pivotal role in understanding complex organization in the digital age. By embracing virtual teams, collaboration tools, meetings, and workplaces, we enhance flexibility, efficiency, and global connectivity. It is essential to recognize and address the challenges associated with virtuality to maximize its benefit and ensure the success of remote work initiatives. Now we move to new paradigm leadership in conventional paradigm cultures. So conventional paradigm cultures are characterized by traditional hierarchical structures, top-down decision-making, and emphasis on stability and control. These cultures often resist change and innovation, favoring established norms and processes over experimentation and adaptation. Here we have a diagram showing the leadership shift model with the emergence of new paradigm leadership. New paradigm leadership challenges the traditional notions of leadership and management. It emphasizes principles such as empowerment, collaboration, agility, and a focus on purpose and value. Leaders in paradigm organizations encourage autonomy, creativity, and continuous learning among employees. Some of the challenges challenges of implementing new paradigm leadership in conventional cultures. So they have resistance to change, cultural inertia, and lack of alignment. Employees and leaders may resist adopting new approaches and relinquishing control. So anybody who works in an organization where this has happened? Anybody? Hello? All right. So I guess we never experienced it. Cultural inertia. Deeply entrenched cultural norms and practices may hinder efforts to introduce new ways of working. The lack of alignment. Existing structures, processes, and systems may not align with the principle of new paradigm leadership. Statistics on leadership paradigm shift. According to a survey by Deloitte, 86% of respondents believe that developing new leaders is an urgent and important priority. The same survey found that 14% of organizations are confident in their ability to develop new leaders. Another study by McKinsey found that organizations with diverse leadership teams are 33% more likely to outperform their peers in profitability. So here we look at the strategies for implementing new paradigm leadership. So we have lead by example, communicate purpose, foster a culture of trust, and invest in development. So look at lead by example. Senior leaders must model the behaviors and values associated with new paradigm leadership. Communicate the purpose. Articulate a compelling vision and purpose that aligns with the values of both the organization and its employees. Foster a culture of trust. Create an environment where employees feel empowered to take risks, share ideas, and collaborate openly. Invest in development. Provide training and development opportunities to equip leaders and employees with the skills and mindset needed for new paradigm leadership. Right. So I have two case studies that I was looking at initially. And these case studies are, so in Zappos, which is an online shoe and clothing retailer, it's known for its commitment to paradigm leadership principles such as holacracy and self-management. By empowering employees to make decisions and fostering a culture of innovation, Zappos has achieved high levels of employee engagement and customer satisfaction. And then we have Spotify. Spotify is a digital music streaming service which embraces agile methodologies and decentralized decision making. Teams are organized into autonomous squads, each responsible for a specific aspect of the product, enabling rapid iteration and innovation. We look at the benefits of new paradigm leadership. They have increased agility, enhanced innovation, and improved employee engagement. Organizations can respond more quickly to changes in the external environment and seize new opportunities. Enhance innovation, empowering employees to experiment and take risks, fosters a culture of innovation and creativity. Improved employee engagement. By giving employees more autonomy and ownership, organizations can boost morale and retention rates. And that is it for our presentation. Okay, so I thank you very much. If you have any questions or anybody would like to get the slide, just let us know and I can share it today.